Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a project for the series Lambretta Series 2. It's a GP200 casing Scooters India 1 that I recently bought off of eBay. Most of the internals of my 185 kit that I had in the GP for a while, that I built in a previous set of videos, I'm going to use in this. The actual crankshaft that I've got in the Series 2 is a Timony race one anyway, and I've got full wave rectification, so I'll be using crankshaft. All the bearings are all new, as you saw in the video when I built that, so I'm not buying new bearings again. I'm just going to use the Koyo bearings that I bought. The brake shoes were new in the the 185 186 engine. So I'm just going to go through, basically I'm going to tidy up all of the rough bits and bobs that you get on Scooters India castings, such as in here. You know, just like, I don't know what they call it, but when they cast it, they don't finish it off properly. Little Dremel in there, tidying it up, making it nice. All the bearings are going there nice. As I say, they've not been used before the casing, so it's just a project that anybody can do to give you a bit more power. The Series 2 is fine, it's just when you get out on the open roads, and where I live there's lots of open roads, and you get on the country lanes and what have you, and the traffic's pushing you along, it's not really ideal. We'll go through building the gearbox up again, the chain, it's all GP that I'm putting in it anyway. But as for the top end, I've not made my mind up yet whether to go the whole hog and put an RT kit in there or something similar, Magello, or even just a standard Seal 200 piston barrel head. I've got most of that already anyway. It's not really building on a budget, it's just it's building on no budget, if you want to look at it like that, because I've got most of the parts already. I'm leaning towards an RT225 kit on it, or a 200 or whatever. You know, I'm not really sure what I want out of it, only that keeping up more or less with the traffic in country lanes is what I want to be doing. So yeah, there's not, like I say, they're just a little bit rough, the castings, they always are. I need to check that all of these are in the right place, so before I actually put anything in the engine, I'll be checking to make sure the brake shoes fit. You know, the crank will go in anyway, I know that. Silly little bits really that I make sure that they line up. Could be tidying this up, probably put a bit of effort into polishing it. Like I say, the Dremel will take all the little high spots off. These are not too bad actually. I've seen lots worse than this. What can you say? It's just a typical Scooters India casting. You know, they're nowhere near as good as Innocenti or the Spanish ones for that matter. But I've got one in my GP, as you know, running a Rapido 225 kit on that, which is more than ample for my GP. It goes along really well. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's just as a change, put on something like an RT or a Magello. I'm not actually sure yet, because I've got the Clubman 42mm and I'll probably be using that on here. It's more a case of, you know, it's what will fit on there. I've got a 22mm carb, which is what I want to actually be using, so I might stick with Scooters India piston barrel and head, and just do some old style 60s porting on the side, knife edge porting, give a little bit more power to it, increase the transfers, and it's something that you don't really see anymore. You know, they're going into all these massive widening of all their transfer ports on here, welding around, or you know, even redoing this on some of the engines so you can get a really nice kit on it, motorbike type kits. And you know, it is what it is. It's not going to be the, you know, the wicked monster from the west or whatever. It's just something that give my Li Series 2 a bit more gumph, if you want, a bit more get up and go. Things like this, they're always sellable anyway. More so the 186 kit I had, I couldn't really be bothered to sell it. I was going to keep it for a project and stick it in a frame, and do a bit of a, you know, a scooter up GP as a project for the channel, which I might do in the future. I don't know yet, because I still have the crankshaft and most of the bits from the engine will still be usable. So yeah, I'll be putting most of the stuff from the Series 2 that I've got and that GP engine that I built in, like I say, in previous episodes. So watch this space. We'll call this part 1, and I won't sort of keep talking too much, but what I'm going to be doing is just taking the rough edges off, get the Dremel out, go over these, sand them down so they're a lot nicer, and then we can go through putting again the engine mounts in, crankshaft, drive side, oil seal, and all that sort of stuff we can do as a project again. There's no, you know, people will be probably more interested in it being you know, what they call a big block. The first big block engines were TV200, and they've not really evolved a lot out of that. The original TV200 didn't have this hole here to support the exhaust, and they had a reputation of you know, falling apart, which I've had 6 or 7 TV200s and I've never had that problem with any of them. I just think people get these myths together and believe them. A well-built 200, whether it's a GP, SX or whatever, they'll get you from A to B. It's when people, you know, they leave the oil seals and don't change the clutch plates and things like that, and trying to get 100 mile an hour out of a scooter that's designed to go 65 mile an hour or whatever. So excuse me, like I say, everyone's got, you've got to understand the limitations of what you're buying. You know, this is not a Casa engine or a GT or whatever, which did cross my mind to do a project on one of them. There was recently a GT engine block for sale, and I was umming and ahhing over Christmas, and by the time I'd sort of made up my mind to contact the guy, I'd already sold it anyway. So it's one of them where you don't hang around for stuff that's quite rare and expensive, especially when they're going for a song, which that engine was in my opinion. But it had a uni engine case. This is going to be all possibly all Scooters India, so it might even be, you know, like I say, I haven't made up my mind what I'm going to do with this, because if you go 225, then 22 mil, you're not really getting anything out of that kit doing that. But I want to keep the airbox, the standard look of the Li Series 2 I quite like. I'm also going to go through the disc brakes won't be up to excuse me, what I fitted won't be up to stopping this engine, so I'll be I might be altering that to a different disc brake than what I've got on there at the moment. But you know, they're all projects for the future. But like I say, you know, it's a bit rough, I must admit, but you know, that's Scooters India for you. So as I say, without ado, I'm just going to cut away. I'm going to spend half an hour getting rid of some of these little burrs on there. It's not welded, it's never been used, as you can see. All of the holes are, you know, they're going to need going through again. A tap and dissect just to make sure that the threads are good. I can't see any problem with them, they all look clean. I must admit they do look clean, but you know, I'm going to start off with the back brake area, because I know that these pins can be off center slightly and you'll never get the rear drum on. That's I've never had it, but apparently it's quite common with the last of the GP casings. Uni, I look for to get a uni engine, because that would have been my preferred choice, both money wise and what I want out of the Li. and they're like rocket dust at the moment, unless you want to pay stupid money from Germany for the same basic engine as this, with a few little adjustments to it. You know, they've done like around here's more beefed up. The back brake part's more beefy. Apparently they've made this part up here where the silent blocks go in more beefy again. But you know, I've had lots of scooters India engines built, and touch wood, not one of them's let me down. So like I say, stick with me over this one. It might take a couple of months. It might not, it might take a couple of weeks. It depends how I get into it, and the weather as well, because the weather lately has been atrocious, cold, a bit of a pain in the backside. But plus as well, with the Christmas, you know, I was busy working all over the Christmas period. So no, I'm not Santa before anyone asks. But yeah, it is what it is. It's you know, I need to get a bit more time and a bit more projects going, and for you guys to watch. But hopefully this will grab somebody's imagination, and we'll see how it goes. GPs have bolts on these, whereas I prefer the studs, as you know, so I'll be using studs. It's just one of my foibles where I just like I like what I like. You know, over the years you get used to it. It's these sort of castings what I'm on about. I don't know if the camera can pick them up. They're just literally like burrs. That doesn't harm the you know, the running of the engine at all. It's just that it makes it nice, nice and yeah, that just nice and even. Well, I'm going to cut out on here anyway. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year to all my subscribers, both old and new. And like I say, hang on for 23. We've got loads coming up. There's lots of shows and what have you going to be happening, parts fairs, and that we can go and have a nose at. You can come and have a view. I've got still got some old stuff I'm going through. It's you know, it's not easy when you're at work all the time, like I say, but that's excuses that you guys don't need to hear. Take care, everyone.